Jeff Passan reporting that another team could get involved in the Teoscar Hernandez free agency sweepstakes. As you know, the Dodgers are still actively trying to sign the popular outfielder, but now it seems another team could get involved. Also, we get into the latest from Farhan Zaidi, who gave an interesting interview to Foul Territory Podcast, and he talked about, Shohei Ohtani's decision-making last offseason, a pretty interesting statement. We get into all that in this edition of Dodgers Digest. Hey, this is Mike Nelson. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. I want to thank the 21% of the ones who are watching these videos who have already hit the sub button, but 78% of you have not subscribed yet. Myself, Brad J, will bring you everyday Dodger content, even in the holiday season, and we're the best Dodger channel out there. You're not going to get content like this anywhere else, so make sure to hit the sub button. Let's get right into it. So, it looks like a surprise team could potentially get Teoscar Hernández from the Dodgers. This is what Jeff Passan wrote today. This all comes from an article that was written for Sports Illustrated from Valentina Martinez. It's a pretty interesting article that talks a little bit about what's going on in the latest from Teoscar Hernández. And the Dodgers remain favorites to sign Hernández, according to Jeff Passan, who wrote an article today. And this is what he talked about. The front of the group, of course, is Teoscar Hernández and Anthony Santander. Both are coming off of excellent seasons that of course, makes them, very desirable free agents. Now, Hernández's return to the Dodgers was, this is what Passan wrote. Has always felt logical, but with free agency festering longer than anticipated, a surprise team could jump into the mix. And that is, of course, bad news, to say the least, if you're a Dodger fan. We've kind of talked a little bit about this situation on this channel quite a bit. We talked a lot about Teoscar Hernández, and the comments, from you guys, seems like you guys are very interested to find out what's going to happen with Teoscar, and I am too, because this guy was important for the Dodgers in 2024. He was only with the team for 1 year, but everybody wants to see him back, right? Even Dave Roberts is talking about how he wants to see him back in LA, and it's taken a while here. It's like, what's going on with this? It's absolutely nerve-wracking if you're a Dodger fan, because you're just wondering, the longer the clock ticks, right? As we know, free agency is still going to be going on for months, right? The season doesn't start until late March. There's still plenty of time to sign Teoscar Hernández, but you still get nervous because, like Jeff Passan, is saying, another team could potentially jump on. Hernández wants, this is from the article that Martinez wrote in the Sports Illustrated today. Hernández wants a 3-year deal worth $22 to $24 million a year, which is always speculated. And it looks like on the eve of winter meetings, the Dodgers were close to finalizing that kind of a deal, which was a 3 year, $66 million deal, but it didn't happen. And it looks like what's holding up the whole situation, it seems like the conversations have stalled, according to this article, which is obviously bad news to say the least when you read this finally now printed. We hadn't had too much reports on this in the last few days, but it's looking like now, there's potentially some more information, right? So the Dodgers and Hernández have now stalled in their talks the last few days. Seems like ever since Juan Soto was signed, because disagreements on the average annual value and signing bonus, and then also Hernández doesn't want any deferrals in his contract, reportedly. We know the Dodgers have been trying to defer a lot of money in their players, right, to try to lower that luxury tax, to try to alleviate the cap hit when it comes to salaries, right? Deferred money does not count against the salary cap, does not count. The player still gets paid, and the team doesn't have to worry about that money going against the cap when that happens. But if a player like Teoscar Hernandez declines to take any deferred money, then his full $22 to $24 million salary, depending on where that is, it could be 25, especially if another team offers him $25 million a year. That complete $25 million will count against the cap, and as we know, would raise the luxury tax on the Dodgers, right? So that's why the Dodgers are trying to defer some of that money. Potentially maybe say, we want to pay you $5 to $10 million a year, and we'll defer the rest of that money later on. But it looks like Teoscar Hernandez is not willing to do that. And that, of course, is something that is you got to be worried about that if you're a Dodger fan, right? Because if the Dodgers and Teoscar Hernandez cannot come to an agreement when it comes to deferred money, he's going to go to a team that's not going to defer him any money. There's going to be a lot of teams out there that will potentially offer him, like I just said, 25, a 3-year, $75 million contract is offered to Teoscar Hernandez. Are the Dodgers going to max that? Are they going to match that offer? I think that's the question. What do you guys think? Comment below. Will the Dodgers match a 3-year, $75 million offer from, say, the Toronto Blue Jays or the Boston Red Sox, who have reportedly been the two teams that are, in the high, in most contention, to sign Hernandez, right? Those have been the two teams that reportedly have actually already offered him contract offers as well. It seems like both of those teams have offered him deals. Hernandez has not signed or agreed to sign any contract yet. He's still a free agent. I think he still has hope that him and the Dodgers can work something out, because I think personally, if you ask me, I think Hernandez wants to stay here in LA. I mean, he just won the World Series with the Dodgers in his first year with the team, and he doesn't really want to go anywhere, right? Personally, I think he doesn't want to leave, and that's why he's giving the Dodgers basically, a chance to kind of work out a deal, right? I mean, that's basically what's going on right now. I mean, he's basically giving them a chance to, work something out, get something done. He's doing that, right? I mean, if he was so quick on leaving LA, and, if he was basically set, I'm just going to go whoever pays me the most money or all that, he would have probably already signed a contract. I mean, I think so, because he's already had a couple offers, and it seems like he's trying to give the Dodgers a chance to, work out a deal. I mean, that's what I think is going on right now. Of course, it's still kind of all up in the air. As we know, it's all, way up in the air, because we just don't know exactly where the Dodgers are in their negotiations with Teoscar Hernandez. We don't even know if they're even talking anymore. It seems like, as we know, there's disagreements, but if they're not talking anymore, and, of course, the holidays, New Year's coming up, potentially that's okay. But some people are saying that this decision could come soon, right? We've been hearing that as well. The decision's going to come soon, and does that mean Teoscar is gone? That is definitely concerning, to say the least. Now, a pretty interesting story here from Farhan Zaidi, who gave a interesting interview earlier today, the last couple days, to Foul Territory podcast. He gave a pretty interesting theory on why Ohtani chose the Dodgers over the Giants. As we know, Zaidi was working for the Giants before, former president of baseball operations. He said, you look at Shohei, he was building a house in Southern California, and of course, we know the Dodgers have been really successful. We know Ohtani had been playing in Southern California prior to, coming to the Dodgers, right, playing for the Angels. So, potentially, that's why he decided not to go to the Giants, right? Because he was building a house in Orange County, and he was like, why would I leave, right? So that is definitely a funny story, to say the least, with that, in that case, because that's funny, didn't leave the Angels, didn't leave California. Of course, he left the Angels, but didn't leave California basically because he was building a house, and of course, we'll never know for sure exactly. I think he just wanted to play for a winning team, right? The Angels, as we know, have been a losing team, and I think he just wanted to play for a winning team. As always, make sure to subscribe, and let's go Dodgers. Woo!